innovative technology for agri-industrial sector in Society 5.0. And without any further ado, please welcome our speaker, Professor Kuncoro. And now time and screen is yours, Prof.
Thank you, Mbak Talia, Miss Talia. Very great morning, everyone, dear participant of the fifth summer course in innovative technology for agro-industrial sector in Society 5.0. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me for the committee. Thank you for moderating me, Mbak Talia, Miss Talia. May I share my material by myself?
Yeah.
Okay, I will do it. Okay, can you see my PPT clearly?
Yeah, we can see that now, but it's not the full screen.
Oh yeah, not yeah.
Not yet. Oh,
okay, okay. I will make this a full screen. Wait a moment. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Need to set this one. Okay. And can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, Prof. We can hear that clearly.
Okay. That means I will start my class, my session, and this is the last session of this summer course. Well, according to the committee, I invited to deliver the material entitled Smart Logistics for Sustainable Food Sovereignty in Industry 5.0. Yeah. Before I start with Ms. Moderator, how many minutes I have to present? I have to deliver my material.
Yes, you have around 60 minutes for delivering your materials, and then we will have Q&A session 30 until 60 minutes.
Okay, 50 minutes, 50, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, I will try. And please give me a warn. Yeah, early warn if there is only remain yeah, a few minutes before the time. Okay. Well, yeah, talking about this topic, it is very challenging, but on the other hand, it's very complicated. Yeah. So in this material, I have been trying to, yeah, discuss this topic. Yeah, all of this part of the topic. Yeah, but in the last part, I would like to yeah, invite you to make the discussion in more specific. For this, I already divided my material into 6 parts. First, I will discuss, I will share food system, and the second one, food sovereignty, then sustainability. After that, we are talking about Industry 5.0, continues with smart logistics or logistics 4.0, its concept, evolution, and global trends. And the last part of my material, I will share you 3 kind of case study in Indonesia. Yeah. Okay. First, food system. Yeah. If we are talking about food, yeah, we yeah, this is our daily life problem. Yeah. Because life is okay if food is okay, all right? So based on this fact, we can consider that food system encompass the entire ring of actors, and they're interlinked value adding activities involved in the production, aggregation, processing, then distribution, consumption, and disposal of food products that originate from agriculture in a general. Yeah, it contains also forestry resource, fisheries as well, and part of the broader economic, societal, and natural environment in which they are embedded. Yeah. We have to consider it a holistic system as a food system, not consider only partly way. Yeah. For this, the food system is composed of subsystems and interact with other key systems, for example, energy system, trade system, health system, and so on. And therefore, a structural change in the food system might originate from a change in another system. Might be energy system, trade system, health system, and so on. For example, a policy promoting more biofuel in the energy system will have a significant impact on the food system. This was just one example. Yeah. Well, in order to make our understanding about the food system becoming simple, but in a holistic perspective, we can use this food system wheel. Let's have a look to this picture. Very interesting picture in respect to the food system. Yeah. This picture informs us that the main objective represented by the yellow circle, yeah, the main objective of a food system is to achieve sustainability performance regarding to the first, poverty reduction, and second, food security nutrition as well. However, in order to achieve this objective, this goal, there is diverse behavior among the actors. This is the challenge. And in order to achieve this two objectives, yeah, we should consider three components of the food system: core system, societal element, and natural element. From this picture, this illustrated by the blue color for core system, orange color for societal element, and green color for the natural element. Yes, talking about core system, there are two layers we should consider. The first layer comprised of production, aggregation, processing, distribution, consumption. And the second layer, in order to make sure that this subsystem is running well, we also should consider access to natural resources, labor, input, knowledge, finance, and other services which influence the production until to the consumption stage. And the second element is societal element. It consists of organization, policy, laws, and regulation, infrastructure, and socio-cultural norm. And the last element is a natural element which contains of air, soil, ecosystem, and genetic, water, and climate. That is the food system wheel. It's very interesting and useful for us to imagine what food system is. Okay, next slide. Now we shift to the issue of food sovereignty. Yeah, dear all participants, when we are dealing with food system, fundamentally, basically, there are three category of the food problem. First, food security. In bahasa Indonesia, ketahanan pangan. Second, food resilient. Bahasa Indonesia mean kemandirian pangan. And the last one, and what we will discuss and what we are discussing now is food sovereignty or kedaulatan pangan in bahasa Indonesia. So based on the title, we will focus on food sovereignty, but not limited to discuss it. Yeah. Okay. In case of we are discussing about the food sovereignty, we can use one of the definition we have from the via Campesina. Yeah. Food sovereignty is the right of nation, the right of people, to define their own food and agriculture, to protect and regulate domestic agricultural production and trade in order to achieve sustainable development objective, to determine the extent to which they want to be self-reliant, to restrict the dumping of product in their market, and to provide local fisheries based on communities the priority in managing use of and the right to aquatic resources. We should highlight that food sovereignty does not negate trade, but rather it promotes the formulation of trade policies and practices that serve the right of people, that serve the right of nation to food and to save. healthy, and ecologically sustainable production. Yeah, okay. I think it's clear. Yeah. Then the next explanation in respect to the food sovereignty is that this concept, yeah, is in contrast to food security. In contrast to food security. Kedaulatan pangan in contrast to ketahanan pangan, food security, which focuses mainly on food availability. Also encompasses the importance of modes of food production and where food come from. It highlights the relationship between the importation of cheap food and the weakening of local agricultural production and population. Food sovereignty is most frequently expressed through emerging political and activist discourses focus on recognizing and advancing a state or people right to define their own food and agricultural policy across the full chain of food production, from agriculture research and land ownership to the right of consumer to decide what they consume and how they and by whom it was produced. As a political concept and framework for action, food sovereignty has undergone successive reinterpretation and expansion since it was articulated. It was promoted in the mid-1990s. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the third part of the topic, we now discuss about sustainability. I'm sure that all of the participants already familiar with the term of sustainability, sustainable in food system, for example. Yeah, we already introduced this session. We need to consider food security. We need to consider food resilience. And we also need to consider food sovereignty as a focus as well. But we have to remember always that the system should work all of the time. Not only work in this period, in this time, in this decade, but we have to make sure, yeah, that the system, the food system, will work unlimited time. It should be sustained, and by considering three pillars of sustainable in food system are: first, economic pillar; second, social pillar; and the third one, environmental pillar. This pillar, this component, have relationship between one other component or pillar, and these three pillars, these three components has relationship among each other, called as sustainable food system. Now, let's see that each component has a specific or has focus in relation with the sustainable concept of food system. In the economic dimension, a food system is considered sustainable if the activities conducted by its food system actor or support service provider are commercially or fiscally viable. Yeah, we are talking about economic dimension. The activity should generate benefit, of course, or economic value added, yes, of course, for all category of stakeholder. Wages for workers, taxes for government, profit for enterprises, and food supply improvement for consumer. How about the social dimension? The second pillar of the sustainable and food system. A food system is considered sustainable when there is equity in the distribution. There is equity in the distribution of the economic value added, taking into account vulnerable group categorized by gender, race, and so on. And fundamentally important, food system activities need to contribute to the investment of important socio-cultural outcomes, such as nutrition and health, tradition, labor condition, and animal welfare as well. And the last one, dealing with the third pillar, the third component of sustainable concept. That is the environmental dimension. Sustainability is determined by ensuring that the impact of food system activities on the surrounding natural environment are neutral or positive, taking into consideration biodiversity, water, soil, animal, and plant health, the carbon footprint, water footprint, food loss and waste, and toxicity. Yeah, that is three pillar of sustainable. Very complicated, but we should consider. Everyone should consider it. We are in the session of the fifth summer course should consider together about this concept of sustainable. We are talking about now, we are talking about tomorrow, we are talking about the future. Okay. Well, what about issue on Industry 5.0? Yeah. Now we bring, but maybe we only bring a part, on a few case of food system into Industry 5.0. It's quite new for us. It's challenging for us to connect between food system that's originated is a rural problem which is very challenging to be connected. The new industry revolution, new industry evolution, which is very close with the issue of high technology. Okay. Well, using this picture, I find it out from ProAction International. Actually there are many resources, but I found it and share to you in this material. The 5th industrial revolution. I'm sure that you all are considering, you all learning about this 5 industrial revolution from 1760, Industry 5.0, 1870, Industry 2.0, 1970, Industry 3.0. Yeah. And maybe, and I'm sure, yeah, you did not burn yet, yeah, in this year. Then 2011, Industry 4.0, and finally, at the moment and this decade, 2020, Industry 5.0, in which for each industry level indicated by different technological development. In the first, in 1.0, yeah, we had introduced by mechanization. 2.0, yeah, it was developed an electrification system. In 3.0, it was automation. 4.0 represented by digitalization. And in 5.0, now, the era, personalization, humanization. In spite of talking only about the technology, digitalization. Yeah. What does it imply, or what learn we can study from this 5 industrial revolution? It is not easy. We are in, but it is not easy for us. Yeah, from my perspective, yeah, let me use one lesson learned from Klaus Schwab, yeah, founder and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum. He said in 2020, in the new world, it is not the big fish which eats the small fish. It's the fast fish which eats the slow fish. Or in other words, it is not the size of the fish. It is the motion of the ocean. What do you think about it, participant? I agree with the statement from Klaus Schwab. Yeah. Okay. I think so, right? Well, next slide. Still discussing about the industrial evolution from 1.0 to 5.0. This picture refer or quoted from M.Eng 2022. Yeah. Yeah. Fundamentally, it is still the same with the previous slide, but the information is quite in detail from its revolution industry era. Yeah. And what can we highlight from this? The term industry 4.0, yeah, 4.0 already set it to the term of industry 5.0. We just enter to this era. But what is the difference? The term industry 4.0 refer to the integration of automation and data exchange in manufacturing. Or in other words, the driver is the technology. On the other hand, meanwhile, Industry 5.0 is a new concept that focuses on collaboration between human and machine. The goal is to create sustainable product and services. Yet the basic technology is almost the same, but in 5.0, we introduce the more interactive between technology between machine and human. So we have a cyber physical cognitive system, while we also consider Korean manufacture, while we also consider cultural collaboration, while we also consider mass customization, holistic as well. Okay. Next slide. Let me share the part of smart logistic, or usually, it called as logistic 4.0. Not yet 5.0, 4.0. Yeah, maybe next. Yeah, our challenge. Okay. Now, first, the first part of the smart logistic or logistic 4.0 is supply chain management and logistic, its concept, evolution, and global trend. Yeah. Okay. To discuss it, we can borrow. Yeah, we can refer to one of the great reference from Paulo in 2007. The publication titled The Evolution and Future Logistics and Supply Chain Management. This publication from Paulo describe us that there is a shifting, there is a change from one decade to the next decade. Yeah, Bolo mentioned to us that in 1960, there were detailed activities, but unfortunately, they were fragmented from demand forecasting, purchasing, requirement planning, production planning, manufacturing inventory, warehousing, material handling, and so on, transportation, strategic planning, information services, marketing, sales, finance. There were, yes, there were, but they were fragmented. The industry need these fragmented activities should be integrated. And fortunately, during the next decade from 1960, the activities were integrated gradually from material management to cover several activities which were fragmented before physical distribution to answer the integration of fragmented activities before. And finally, in 2000, these two integrated system were or was integrated to logistics. And finally, integrated in more integration system as a supply chain management. For this, we can also elaborate more information using the next publication from Sina et al. In their book entitled Digital Supply Network. The fundamental concept, the fundamental concept the same with the previous. It means that Sina et al. Also refer to Bolo, in which they mention to us, they convince us that there were evolution. There was an evolution from fragmented activities to the integrated activities. In this book, they introduce to us from fragmentation era to the consolidation era in 80, in 1990, integration era as integrated logistics, in 2000 supply chain management era as value creation era, 2010 supply network management network era, and now we have been entering to the era we call as digital supply network, the era of smartification. Yeah, as the focus of this session. Yeah. Let me complete it. Let me add with the information of the previous evolution of fragmented activity to integrated logistics and network of the supply chain. Yeah, I need to make sure that there is an information, and this information is important for us to ensure that there is also an evolution from the supply chain to the supply network. So, following up the previous reference, we can view elaboration for this supply chain and supply network. We have to picture here. When we are talking about supply chain, usually the process is running or is managing in the linear process. Basically, it considers the operational activities within an organization, and will deliver value to an organization. However, when we are talking about supply network, the process is not linear anymore, but the process is involved in the upstream. We have supplier network, enter the focal company, and finally enter to the customer network. The complexity is different. And now we are entering to the more and more complex system, more and more complex supply system. Okay. Well, next stage, next step. What I would like to share to you, all participants, is about smart logistics or logistic 4.0. In the previous slide, we already discussed, I already mentioned that there was evolution of industry from 1.04 to 3.5.0. How about logistics? Logistics also has an evolution, yeah, from 1.0 to 4.0, not yet 5.0. Okay, let's use this figure. Let's use this picture to make we more understand about this concept of logistic evolution. The horizontal line represents the period of this industry level from 17, 18, 19, 2000, 2020, from industry 1.0 to 4.0, and finally now in 5.0. And the vertical line explain to us the degree of complexity. The complexity degree is changed from 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, in line with the challenge from the industry revolution. Yeah. Yeah. Logistics 1.0 focus on mechanization of transport. Logistics 2.0 is focused on automation of handling system. 3.0 highlight in system of logistic management, and now at the era of logistic 4.0, how the system of logistic, how the system of supply chain using internet to all of the things during the flow of product from upstream to the downstream, from first mile to last mile as well. Okay. Next slide can help us to make sure how the logic 4.0 is. Yes. Have a look at the slide I have been mentioned to you at the moment. In the left set, in the left picture, yeah, we can see that IoT is the basic IoT, yeah, Internet of Things, everything, yeah, from everything, yeah. Smart home, smart city, smart vehicle, smart healthcare, smart grid, smart farming, smart logistics, smart industry, and so on. Everything is Internet. This is push, yeah, into automation, more intimate between the product owner and the product user. Flexibility, expectation, maximum quality, expectation, and so on. In this context, Logistics 4.0 is the answer. A new paradigm in logistics services with the increasing use of internet network that are able to communicate various subsystems of activity and data exchange in real time. Yes, real time. Different with the previous era. They already use internet, but not in real time. And it's effectively, efficiently, yeah. And in this slide, I want to make sure that services in logistics, yeah, is need need a smart services, need smart product, smart product and smart services to the highest level of consumer satisfaction. Yeah. Okay, next, linear supply chain and digital supply network. Yes, this part is important for me, for us, to make sure, to ensure that there is a change. Yeah, there is a new change from the linear supply chain to the digital supply network. We can use these two pictures. The left one mentioned to us when the traditional supply chain, this process is done by a linear process. There is a linear process from supplier. Any demand information, any order, then confirmed by the manufacturer, and then yeah, make respond to the supplier based on the order, and so on. The communication between manufacturer and distributor, and finally from distributor to consumer. This is quite simple. But however, now we are entering the more complex, the more dynamic, and more connected value web, which are the process is not linear anymore, but the process needs co-creation. The process needs collaboration among the horizontal actor and also vertical actor as well, to make sure that there is a co-creation and there is a collaboration to maximize the customer satisfaction and the end of the day, while minimizing costs to serve the consumer demand, all of the level, wherever, whenever, in all of the product and services. Okay, so in a simple word, digital supply network system is modern, transparent, collaborated, and real-time data-driven supply network system. Yeah, okay. Next slide. Yeah, let me yeah, give you one more slide to inform how traditional supply chain need to change, need to shift to the digital supply chain ecosystem. Yeah, I already mentioned in the previous slide, in traditional supply chain, the challenge of the problem is quite simple, less complex than the digital supply chain ecosystem. Limited visibility throughout the supply chain, lack of real-time data update, cannot adapt or less responsive to changing market condition. In the supply chain and logistics evolution, supply chain is the answer of the previous challenge, from the fragmented activities to the partial integrated. And yes, supply chain already answered the problem we had before. But the result is not cover all of the expectation. We need to make sure this. There is no friction, yes. There is no delay, yes. There is no inefficiency, yes. There is no bulwark effect, yes. But usually there's still high inventory, high COGS, yeah, cost of goods sold, out of stock. But lower transparency, lower agility, lower velocity. However, in the new model, new environment, new technology approach, using the digital supply chain ecosystem, and this situation is represented by the figure in the right side. Implementing digital supply chain ecosystem will help us, to solve some of the remaining problem in the traditional supply chain. There is more agility, there's more velocity, there's more transparency, but with less inventory, less COGS, less OSA, less high traceability and high product safety. Especially when we are talking about the food system. By make a network system, transparent system, open system, yeah, food system will be promising for us to be better, yeah, to answer some of objective. Remember in the early session, I already mentioned to you that we need to make sure that must be a sustainable supply chain, and make sure the process from the first mile to the last mile, from the upstream to the downstream from end to end. Yeah. Okay, now in the last part, Miss Moderator, Mbak Talia, I need more time to share case study. It's okay?
Yeah, it will be okay, Prof.
Okay, thank you, Miss Moderator, Mbak Talia. Okay, yeah, I already prepared with 3 case study. Yeah, it is important to give us case an example. Yeah, first, digital entrepreneurship in food delivery industry in Indonesia. Yeah, this one part of issue related to the subsystem in food system, in food chain. Yeah. Digitalization to create efficiency along the food delivery. Yeah. Now is the era that the food system, especially in this case, is food delivery in Indonesia. Yeah, we incorporated digitization process from the order management, order tracking, payment gateway to the multi-kitchen, discount coupon, tax, and so on. Yeah. By only use our smartphone, yeah, we can do all of the things in respect to the food delivery services. Yeah, as what already mentioned in this digital supply chain ecosystem, because all of the data is shared. The data, all of the data shared to all of the actors, all of the entities in the system. Yeah. Yeah, according to this report, unfortunately, yeah, there is a variation, yeah, for some nation in Asian countries, yeah. But fortunately, some of the nation is quite have a similar degree of entrepreneurial ecosystem and digital ecosystem level. Yeah, look at this figure. Look at this picture. Between Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, we can see here, we get information here that, yeah, maybe there will be 3 categories. Singapore is the best one of the number, both the entrepreneur ecosystem, digital ecosystem, and then followed by Malaysia. And for the rest of the country, the remaining nation, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, yeah, quite the same, around 0.6. Yeah. It means that, yeah, 2 information we get from this. In entrepreneurial ecosystem, all cases, there is a variation between the countries. And for digital ecosystem, the number is less than the number of the entrepreneurial ecosystem. It means that there's still a challenge for all the nation, for all the country to the implementation of the smart ecosystem, including in smart logistics to cope with any problem, especially what we are talking about now is in the context of food system. Yeah. Okay, from the statistic of Indonesia, we can see the food market and delivery infrastructure from 2016 to 2021. Food and beverage consumption of gross domestic product. Yeah. Around 27%. So yeah, 1/4, yeah, 1/4, 25% of the gross domestic product stem from food and beverage consumption. The point I would like to highlight in respect to the food delivery is the statistic data of number of motorcycle, because motorcycle is identical with the existing of delivery system of delivery food system. Let's have a look in this table, number of motorcycle and ratio of motorcycle per household. Yeah. There's a close relation between the development of food delivery services and the number of motorcycles. This comes from study of ADB, Asian Development Bank. Okay, next slide. To inform more about the application of digital technology for all activities and for food delivery. Yeah, we need to highlight the food delivery. This is the average data for all activity from partnership, product and service, marketing, sales, customer interaction, and internal activities. This information stems from this table, digital application technology. What I would like to mention to this session is that digital technology use are considering in some activities, especially in food delivery. Food delivery here maybe tend to the part of downstream system, downstream subsystem. For example, digital technology for internal activities. Now, how the industry use digitalization for human resource process, customer management system, counting system, tel to connection for work from home stuff, for example. Yeah, we have information about the all industry, and for food delivery, we also get the statistic. And second one, the digital technology for marketing, sales, and customer interaction, digital technology for product, and digital technology for partnership in the food delivery system. Okay, next slide. Yeah, the next case is the following. Yeah, I and our team already working and proposing the system, what we call as silo. in bahasa Indonesia sistem informasi logistik keuangan, or in English mean food logistic information system, or logistic system for food. Yeah. Yes, the basic thinking is in line with what we are discussing at this session. Smart logistics, smart supply chain. And to answer that, the environment of the process from upstream to the downstream, the process from first mile to last mile, is not linear anymore. So by this logistic for system, we hope there is data sharing, and there is good authority management system to collect the data, to analyze the data, and to use the data for the authority, for the local government and central government as well, or for the other entity, other actors, based on its needs. So this is the challenge: how to manage the data source, how to manage the data collection, data use, and data security. Yeah. Okay, this an example of the dashboard of the system. We have been looking for this. Yeah. We can see from this, we can collect the data. We can use the data to analyze based on the need. The need of government is different with the need of the other actors from end to end. Yeah. That's what we look at this page of our material here. Okay, the last one. Case study in rural area Indonesia. Why I need to share this? Yes. Basically, when we are talking about food, this commodity is identical with the problem in rural. Almost all of the food come from rural area. So in the actually we have to make sure that there is no problem anymore in the village, in the rural area. Yeah, to guarantee that the process of commodity flow is run well, no constraint, as the expected objective to maximize the consumer for all tier, for all state, and to minimize the cost during the chain. Yeah. Have a look to this slide. Yeah. In a rural area, we have some similar problem. Yeah. Not only in Indonesia, but in another country. Yeah. And when we are talking about rural logistic, yeah, there similar problem. For example, deprived market, lack of communication facilities, transport and distribution issues, cultural social issues, low per capita income, low level of literacy, storage facility, the lack of storage facility, including the number and quality, the specification as well. So the development of rural logistics has an important significant to development of rural area to reduce the logistic cost, to increase income, to narrow the gap between urban and rural area, and to improve farmer life quality. And the end of the day, Okay, I will pause here. Okay, and fortunately, in case of Indonesia, our government already has a document as a national logistics system, and in 2021 it was completed with the new elaboration in ICT, information communication aspect, in order to make the process from outbound, inbound, and vice versa, domestic, international, vice versa, is done in more transparent, more fast response to give the best services to both product owner and product user. Helped by the logistics service provider during the process from end to end, from warehouse to warehouse, both from the process of exportation and importation as well. We call this as national logistic ecosystem. Okay, the last slide. I would like to make challenges for me, for us, to summarize. In other words, the role of digitalization in the food smart logistics system development using new and innovative technology based on internet network or solution is very important to upgrade the delivery reliability, to upgrade the delivery quality, to improve delivery flexibility, and to maximize the service level for all actors during the logistic chain. Behavior change in the application of Logistics 4.0, Internet of Things, big data, planning, controlling, monitoring, applying information, and material, good, and financial flow. And the implementation of domestic logistics design is more challenging than global logistics digitalization because there are still many conventional business people at the local level. I already mentioned you in the rural areas. And this slide is to convince us in the challenges that we need to simplify the complex situation, the complex and dynamic business by, for example, this system as published by Kamil Harris, 2020, to simplify from the supplier, provider, producer, processing, distribution, retailer to the consumer by using technology approach, blockchain network, and make sure the digital flow, and finally to make sure the best interaction among the authorities, regulator from upstream to the downstream, from first mile to last mile. And finally, as what I already mentioned to you in the previous, to make sure that food produced in the right food consumed in the right place, in the right volume, in the right quality, in the right price. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Miss Moderator, Mbak Talia.
Yeah, yes.
I bring back to you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Kuncoro, for your interesting lecture. And to all the participants, you can give an applause for him virtually through the reaction button. And yes, I think food sustainability, food supply chain is really a big issue, yet a big opportunity to improve nowadays, because human cannot live without food, as we know. And in the past, we usually say it as from farm to table. But now we have so many ways, so many innovation to bring the food to the table. For example, through the online delivery, and also the from farm itself also had so many innovation, like the industry process and etc. Yes. And now we will move to the question and answer session. So to all the participants who want to ask question, you can raise your hand and talk directly in this forum, or you can also write down your question in the chat box or in the Q&A menu. And so for all the participants, do you have any question? Okay, Mr. Makbul Hajat, you can ask say your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Talia. Good morning, Prof. Kuncoro. And
Good morning,
it's nice
Mas Mabul.
to having you here as the speaker for this S.T.P Smart Agroindustry. It's an interesting topic, I think, Prof. Kuncoro, because in nowadays logistic and supply chains, we have seen a lot of things are going different from the when I was a kid. I saw that the business like 3PL logistic is a lot.
Yeah.
But right now, I think the 3PL logistic is quite less, and I mean the number of 3PL logistic company is not as much as last period. And also about the fresh product like vegetables and what's like the fruits and also meat and many other products, fresh products. In our region in Indonesia, we have a lot of islands and a lot of regions to reach. Some places we have lack of that kind of products, and in another place we have what more products. This I think these situations need to link these regions to design the very effective supply chain network, and the vision of the current systems like SOFI and others. SOFI, and in Indonesia we have SOFI, we have Tokopedia, but I haven't seen that this kind of products is market what I see sales in this kind of systems, the fresh products. So what do you think in the next period? What is the challenge to to simplify or to improve the system of the for the fresh products in the current supply chain network. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Miss Talia,
Yes, Prof.
yeah, can I reply? Can I respond the question from Mas Mapul first?
Yes, we still have 10 minutes for Q&A session
Okay,
until
okay.
9 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, first of all, thank you, Mas Mapul, for your opinion, yeah, and for your note for us. Yeah. You already remind us that yeah, there is remaining problem to make sure that the quantity deliver from one place, I mean from the place of origin to the place of consumption. Yeah, we have to make sure there is no quality reduction, because it will be critical if then the quality of the product is produced. Yeah, because it will make the consumer refuse and make the food loss higher. In the worst condition, there is no product delivered to the consumer. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah. So when we are talking about this situation, yeah, we need to consider several considerations. Yeah. First, we should understand the property of the product first. What kind of the product we have? Of course, we are talking about fresh product. Yeah, fresh product is different from one varietas to another varietas. From one product to product, it's different. Every product have a unique product. Fish have a unique property, different with vegetable, different with other frozen product. Yeah, different. So the understanding of the property of each product is the first step we have to do it. And the second one is the information sharing. Yeah, information sharing between the actor during the chain. Information sharing between the product demand actor to the product producer. This is the second key of the answer of the problem. Yeah. We have to make sure the information from the consumer reach to the supplier well. The number, the quality grade, the position or the place. Yeah. To make sure there is 100% absolutely the same information. For this, then consider the point number 3. Yeah, technology. When we already know the commodity is, when we know and understand the information we need, the information about the demand from a consumer, what technology we need? Yes, of course. When we are talking about fresh product, fresh product. Usually, if we are talking the big area like Indonesia, we cannot only based on normal technology. I mean, without intervention of any technology, it will disrupt, it will reduce the quality of the product. We need what we call as, in general, I think you all know the cold chain technology. But the problem is not only we implement the same cold chain technology. We have to remember that in a great supply chain system, we should always consider that two objectives we have. First, we have to maximize consumer satisfaction with all of the variable. Meanwhile, we also have to make the cost minimum. So the selection of the best or the selection of appropriate technology is very critical to answer this. This is the problem. I think this not only in Indonesia problem, but also in another region. Yeah. The appropriate technology is also the critical of the approach to answer the delivery of fresh product. Yeah. And the last one, the contribution for logistic service provider. Mas Mapol already mentioned also 3PL. Yeah, 3PL. 3PL, yes, we need 3PL. Yeah, we need 3PL. But now we need 3PL which are more integrated. I mean, we cannot only need help from tracking with container, but we also have to make sure that the journey, that the route of the product from point of origin to point of destination is doing in a correct way. Material handling, when we change from one place to another place, when we have to dispatch from a big container to a small transporter, and so on, until to the end customer. We have to make sure that all of the material handling is done in an appropriate way to make the quality of the product is the same from the point of origin. I think that is my answer. Maybe you also have another opinion. Yeah, let me know, Mas Mapul. Yeah. Or maybe
Thank you so much for the share. Thank you so much for the share. Hope we have next idea to collaborate about these things.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Kuncoro. And now, because of the time limitation, we cannot continue the Q&A session, but the participant could still write down the question, and we will try to collect your question and send it through Professor Kuncoro email. Is that okay for you, Prof?
That's okay, no problem.
Okay. And for Professor Kuncoro, please stay a while because we have a little appreciation for you. And for the operator, could you please show the slide of appreciation? Yeah, and this is the certificate of appreciation given by our dean, who is Professor Eni Harmayani. And thank you so much for your lecture and time. And before we move to the next session, I would like to apologize if maybe there was any mistakes during this session. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Miss Talia, Mbak Talia. No mistake anymore. No.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome,
Yeah,
Prof.
everything is okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, see you.
Thank you.
And now we will back to the MC. Yeah, for the MC, are you still there? I think there is a little problem, but for Professor Kuncoro, your session is end and you can leave if you want to have another activity, because in the next session we will have the independent study for the participant.
Okay, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Mbak
okay,
Talia,
thank you.
Miss Talia.
You're
Yeah,
welcome, Prof.
yeah, great job, and yeah, see you another.
Yeah, see you in another time, Prof. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm so sorry because my device has problem. So I want to say thank you to Mrs. Talia for being a good moderator today. And before we move to the next session, I would like to apologize to Mrs. Talia because I forgot to introduce Mrs. Talia at the beginning of the session. As you know, this is the morning session. Miss Talia has been a good moderator, and I would like to thank you, Mrs. Talia, for getting the session. Okay, thank you. And I want to say thank you for Professor Dr. Kuncoro and Mrs. Talia. And now I would like to invite Prof. Eni Hermayane as the Dean of the Agricultural Technology Department to give appreciation certificate to Professor Kuncoro, and the certificate for Mrs. Talia will be given by the director of the fifth summer course Smart Agroindustry summer course program, Mr. Makbul Gadjah. And this is your certificate, and Mr. Makbul, please give to Mrs. Talia.
Okay, thank you so much, Gadjah, for the time, and to Miss Talia. Thank you so much for your contribution in this summer course, and we would like to deliver the symbolized certificate for you for the contribution of for this summer course as the moderator for the last sessions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Mr. Makbul, and thank you too for Mrs. Dubiar.
And the certificate is will be given by symbolized. Yes, Mrs. Can for operator, can you start your recording, please?